Welcome back to our study of Martin Luther. In session 5, Luther found himself facing serious challenges from some of the most powerful people in the Holy Roman Empire. Under immense pressure to recant his published disagreements with the Catholic Church, Luther stood firm on his faith and his interpretation of the Bible. Today's session has all of the intrigue of a Hollywood thriller. A wanted man is kidnapped, but then hides out from his pursuers for nearly a year. As it turns out, that year in hiding was time well spent. So grab your popcorn and get ready for this adventurous story of Martin Luther.
The diet of worms did not go how Luther expected. After vowing not to recant his beliefs that were contrary to the Catholic Church, Luther argued for a few more days before declaring he was through. Emperor Charles V granted Luther permission to leave for home. After a couple of days of travel and visiting relatives, Luther relieved his protective entourage. Not a good decision. Luther's wagon was traveling on a desolate road through the woods when suddenly a band of horsemen plunged out of the dark forest and kidnapped him. Remember, Luther was declared a heretic at the Diet of Worms, meaning anyone could kill him without any legal consequences. Word soon spread throughout Germany of the kidnapping, yet nobody heard a word from Luther. Weeks turned into a few months. A hush fell over Europe. Many followers feared the worst, that Rome had finally silenced Luther forever. But back at Wittenberg, two of Luther's closest mentors and collaborators, Philip Melanchthon and Johann von Stupitz, also wondered what could have happened to their friend.
Philip, hey, everyone's wondering about what happened to Martin Luther. Well, I got a very interesting letter I think you should see.
That is very interesting, because I received a letter too.
Well, mine says I'm supposed to contact a local book publisher here in Wittenberg and make sure they're well supplied with enough materials for books that are guaranteed to be bestsellers. There's only one author in Germany that I know can make that guarantee.
There seems to be tons of questions. One of the questions in my letter was, can I translate or can I help translate Greek and Hebrew into German? Who would ask such a question? My letter was signed Sir George.
Well, wait, mine is signed by Sir George too, but I'm pretty sure it's
Martin Luther? Oh, that's amazing. He's definitely alive, and it sounds like he's very, very busy.
Well, I'm going to contact the publisher right now. Luther must be writing a bunch of books. Why do you think he was asking about Greek and Hebrew?
You Dummkopf. Luther is translating this into German so everyone can be educated on the grace of God and the salvation through Jesus.
Wow, something amazing is happening.
You're Dummkopf. You.
Only a few very trusted people knew that Luther was still alive in those first weeks, until Luther had a brand new book published just 2 months after going into hiding. But even after publishing the books, Luther's hiding place remained a closely guarded secret. Luther used the bulk of his year in hiding to continue his work, and he was indeed persistent about spreading the word of God, as noted in today's Bible verse in Timothy. Dressed as a knight like the other inhabitants of the castle, Luther soldiered on, cranking out 1,500 words per day when translating the Bible into German in only 11 weeks. The 10 months of protective confinement in the castle proved to be among the most productive of Luther's life. He published 12 books while there, but no book was more important than, you guessed it, the Bible, and specifically the good news theology he was long proclaiming from the New Testament. Luther believed that if he could put the scriptures and a guide to reading them into the hands of all Christians, they could be taught more directly by God. He was both a theologian and a pastor during his translation. His simple instructions stressed that what he had long preached, that the Gospels demand no works from us to be redeemed. We only need to have faith and trust in Jesus because he has overcome sin and death for all of us. The significance of the Gutenberg printing press at that time can't be overstated. Invented by Johannes Gutenberg in Germany, the press made it possible to produce large numbers of books, including the German Bible, for little cost. At one point during Luther's isolation, he became restless and lonely. Nobody was allowed to see him in his lower dark room until his hair and beard grew out to enhance his disguise. Luther really struggled with loneliness, and for him, it was another deeply spiritual conflict.
Satan, why are you creeping into my mind and taking hold of me? This loneliness, solitude are interfering with my work. Get away from me, Satan. This ink will blot you out of my life forever. Ah!
At that point, he snuck out of Wartburg Castle, commandeered a horse, and left for his beloved Wittenberg. Luther needed to see and hear with his own eyes and ears what people were thinking about his works. With his deft disguise that initially fooled some of his closest associates, including Melanchthon, he stayed with his colleagues for a week. His brief, unauthorized getaway was the perfect tonic for Luther. He saw the excitement permeating from his writings and teachings. His prior anxiety evaporated, and he returned to Wartburg Castle determined to write yet another book. However, it will always be the German Bible that will be remembered from Luther's exile in the castle.
Elector Frederick, it's good to see you.
You too.
I have something for you. As a thank you for all you've done and all the support of my work, I wanted you to have this. It's one of the first copies of the German Bible.
Wow, the Bible in German. This is truly a great gift.
Yeah, well, it's the least I can do for all that you've done, you know, kidnapping me and hiding me in the castle and keeping me safe. Without you, I would have been captured and probably killed. I don't know what else to say, but, you know, I can see that you're busy, so I'll...
Oh, I'm sorry, did you say something?
Just wanted to say thank you.
No, thank you, Luther.
Martin Luther was distraught over the outcome of the Diet of Worms. Labeled a heretic and a wanted man, he set out to travel back to Wittenberg. On the way, he was kidnapped by allies for his own protection and secluded in Wartburg Castle for 10 months. There he wrote vigorously, producing 12 books, and most importantly, translated the Bible into German. How exciting, so much intrigue. And can you imagine opening a Bible for the first time and reading it in your own language? We hope you'll enjoy your small group conversation as much as we enjoyed sharing this part of the story. God bless you and your group.